Did you know South Carolina has the 13th highest rate of functional illiteracy in the entire country? An award-winning national nonprofit is empowering student ambassadors to virtually read to young children and enhance their skills. We're delighted to be joined by JT Wu, founder and executive director of the Preface Project, and Melissa Miller. She's kindergarten teacher at Midland Park Primary School in North Charleston. Welcome to you both.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
So JT, it's hard to imagine that there's still such a high rate of illiteracy in this day and age, in this country. Can you tell us what the Preface Project is all about, but why we're seeing so much illiteracy these days?
Absolutely. I think it's something that really weighs on everybody's heart. I think these days, especially as we think about the challenges that teachers and parents are going through with the COVID-19 pandemic, all of these virtual learning challenges just exacerbating some of these things going on the ground. For us, one of the most surprising statistics that we saw when we started this journey alongside expert educators was that 63% of our kids nationwide, according to the Department of Education, aren't reading English proficiently by the time that they get to the third or the fourth grades. And so, for us, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can look at that problem. But one of the big things that we realize is that, this is not the fault of parents or hardworking teachers or educators or any of that. We really saw it as a resource problem. How can we help get more resources, especially multilingual ones? If kids aren't reading English in the home, that can be such an incredible impediment to, being able to read and then also having to learn the curricula in the classroom at the same time. So for us, it was how do we train resources that are in every single community, in this case, high school students themselves, many of whom are multilingual and who know how to read instinctively to their little siblings what they're doing in the house. How can we get those into the hands of educators like the great folks over at Midland Park Primary and use that as a tool for them to help get these young kids where we all know they can be?
Yeah, and I wanted to talk a little bit about just the distinction, though. The percentage that you gave is incredible to know that more than half are not reading at
Absolutely.
the level that they should be reading. Now, when you lump all the students together, these are not necessarily all students that are coming from an English-speaking household. So many of them do come from another language.
That's absolutely right.
So would you say that that is primarily where we're seeing the problem, or is it elsewhere?
No, I think the multilingual component definitely is a big part of the issue. I mean, again, just to take it back, when you've got an environment in which students are having to learn the curricula and the language that they're learning that curriculum in at the same time, it can be incredibly challenging. So that's why for us, we really did focus at the outset of Preface in recruiting ambassadors, which is what we call our high school students who are multilingual, to try to help them bridge comprehension gaps for these little kids. But I think to our great surprise, what we've seen is that the results, bringing kids from functional illiteracy to reading on track or above grade level in as little as 10 weeks, we've seen that work across backgrounds, not just multilingual backgrounds where children don't speak English in the home, but also ones where they might just need an extra bit of attention and a little bit of a leg up to get to where they all know they can be.
Sure. I want to bring Melissa into this conversation because, Melissa, as a kindergarten teacher, I'm sure that you have seen all kinds of students come in, even at such a young age, with certain challenges. So as an educator, how does that then change the way in which you teach? Does it?
Yeah, absolutely. So our school is kind of unique in that we have a very large population of Hispanic students, so students who are multilingual learners, and they come in knowing very little to no English in kindergarten. And so believe it or not, that already puts them behind when they come in because, as JT said, they're learning the curriculum in English, but they're also learning how to speak in English. And so that definitely gives them that extra opportunity to have those resources that JT said of high school students that do speak their own language, do speak the same language as them. So,
and with the Preface Project, you've seen proficiency increase in as few as 10 weeks. What does it take to stimulate a child's love of learning or the patience to learn something new?
Yeah, I think that's a Melissa question for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the one interacting
Melissa, do you want to take
with
this
these kids. I will say, just from the Preface perspective, really quick. I mean, it's been a joy to hear, these anecdotal reports from the ground, not just in Charleston, but from all across the country, where these kids are saying, "Wow, is this now when I get to hang out with my friend who speaks Spanish or Vietnamese or Thai or Korean or whatever the language is?" To be able to create that positive environment for them, I think it's just building those relationships really early on and associating a positive feeling with learning, something that they need, obviously. obviously, for a lifetime of success. But Melissa.
Yeah. What do you think, Melissa?
Absolutely. It's definitely building those positive relationships right off the bat. It definitely does take a lot of patience, both for the teachers and the students, because there could be frustration from both sides. We do have to kind of change the way we teach. We take lots of professional development on how to reach multilingual learners using visuals and modeling and all of that kind of stuff. But the main thing is just creating a stress-free environment for these kids to be able to have that confidence and to really be able to learn quickly and to learn the language and to learn the love of learning.
Because illiteracy, it affects everything from not just employment and what you earn during your lifetime, but also your health. So literacy is one of the most important things that one carries with them their entire life. Finally, JT, for students who are watching this, for parents who have students who might be wonderful ambassadors in this project, how do they become those ambassadors? Where do they go?
Absolutely. We are always excited to talk to, parents, educators, students, anyone who wants to get involved in this program. It's completely free of charge to the schools. We've developed a customizable model that, is very adaptable to different communities, whether that's in North Charleston, anywhere else in the Low Country, anywhere else in South Carolina, or across America. So you can check out our website at www.prefaceproject.org. On the front page, there's going to be a button that has, school FAQs and also ambassador applications. If you're interested, or if you know anyone who's interested in taking advantage of these resources, we'd love to talk to you.
Perfect. JT, Melissa, thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and happy holidays, Layla. Thanks for having us.
We're back after this.